Hey there, y'all. I'm Juliette Miranda, and welcome to Bourbon Soak Live, the best place to be on Monday night on YouTube or anywhere, really, for cocktails and conversation. So, hanging out behind the scene and pressing everyone's buttons would be David, the producer.
I don't press everyone's buttons.
No, I think you do, actually.
A lot of people.
You press buttons like a mean girl.
Oh, really?
See what I did there?
No. Boo.
How you doing tonight, mister?
I'm doing awesome. It's Monday. It's October. This is the month where we watch scary movies every single night of the month. Hey,
Greatest month of the year, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm not complaining.
No, well, it allows me to indulge my passion for death, dismemberment, blood, gore, mayhem, all of the above, really. So tonight our conversation is Mean Girls, of course, the girls we all love to hate. Before we get to that, let's say hello to a couple people who are hanging out in the chat. I know Not a Great Gamer was here first, so you get the glass raised and the gold star. Cheers to you.
Very nice. And Not a Great Gamer will be happy to hear that I actually got a French coat of arms sent to me in the mail today.
You did. It's very fancy and official looking.
Yes, and I know how much Gamer loves the French.
Well, who doesn't love the French? I do. I married one.
Very true.
So cheers, Gamer. I see that Bob's Adventure has joined us. Guardian of Chaos, cheers to you. And Rex Gun as well. So if y'all are lurking, make yourselves known because, guys, it's a cool show. And how we work is we talk, you share your news in the chat, and we'll discuss it. And like I said, our conversation tonight is Mean Girls.
And Ganna Banana just showed up.
Well, all right, Ganna. Hey, great to see you here tonight. Now, you can't have cocktails and conversation without a little bit of bourbon, right? So let's talk about what we're drinking. Me, I have broken out the Maker's Mark 101. This is a new release from Maker's. Now, it's come out before, but it was very, very limited. You could only get it at the distillery. But they've marked it for a wider release, and I'm really glad they did because, y'all, this stuff is seriously good. So there's classic Maker's Mark, 90 proof. It's good bourbon. Solid, easy to drink, wheated bourbon, a little sweet, corn, traditional flavors. They also have a cask strength release, and that is 113 proof. It's seriously potent. Could be a little hard to drink. I feel like it really kind of pulls out some of the nasty oak flavors of the barrels, but this 101, it's 101 proof. It is the perfect sweet spot between them all. This is what bourbon should taste like every single goddamn day.
I was pretty impressed, especially for the price point. Pretty damn good for 45 bucks.
45 bucks, you get a little bit more flavor out of it, a little bit more potency. Now, you might hear some ice clinking around in my glass, and I've got a cube in here, not because I feel like I needed to tone it down or anything. I'm drinking it with a cube because we just got these fancy new ice cube makers.
Oh my God. It is the coolest damn thing.
They are. They make those giant, cubes, but they do it so that it's completely pure, crystal clear. You can see right through it. And it's this really fascinating, weird little styrofoam package. You pour all the water in and then it just sucks all the badness right out.
I got pics of it actually. So I'm going to post those up here in just a second, but you could see right through it, just like a stripper's, what they tell you before they take $20 from you at a time.
You mean her soul?
Yes. Here's the stuff right here.
Oh, there you go.
It's called Tovolo. And I will spell it for you because you can't see it there on the screen, but it's Tovolo. And it makes 4 cubes at a time. It's like 24 bucks. It's not cheap for an ice tray. But the only way that you can make clear, 100% clear ice cubes is they have to be insulated. There's a whole process to it.
All of the science behind it, I don't know what it is. And they're just kind of cool. So I'm giving them a whirl tonight to see how slowly they melt in the studio lights. And thus far, it's doing pretty good.
And they melt pretty damn slow, considering.
Yeah, we're going to have to take these outside in the heat and see what happens.
Swami's give me shit.
Whatever.
These cool ice cubes are accessible and swill like bourbon. He must not like the Maker's 101, but it's pretty damn decent.
It's that
not great.
it still tastes like Maker's Mark, don't get me wrong, but it has just a little bit more of what it's supposed to taste like. You get a bigger flavor boost out of that, extra bit that hasn't been diluted. Now, obviously, I'm diluting mine here with ice cubes, but that does not diminish my point. It is still a solid bourbon, $45.
Yep, and we are not advertising for them at all, but I did see in there that Malton of Montreal says nice product placement. But then Malton of Montreal also said, the only advertising I want to see is dental insurance.
How do you currently pay for your dental care?
If anything big happened, I'd have a real problem.
We had to pay our last big bill over time, and we're still paying.
You know
Sorry.
who's still going to be paying?
Yeah, I know. I will be.
You will be with your life.
I know these things.
So, y'all, what do you say? We talk a little bit about hashtag Bourbon Soak Live. Hashtag Bourbon Soak Live is our getting to know you routine. Snap a photo. Could be of yourself, could be of your cocktail, could be of, I don't know, anything except your dick. Post it to Twitter using the hashtag Bourbon Soak Live, and we will do our best to show it on the show tonight or next week. Just make sure you'll let us know that it's in there so we can find it.
Why are you not being inclusive? What's the problem with the dick?
Nobody likes to look at dicks.
Well, I certainly, it's not one of my favorite things. Well, let's see, it might be one of my least favorite things that I'm kind of thinking about.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with dicks. Dicks are wonderful. I just don't want to see photographs of them. But I do like dead baby pictures. What have we got here?
This was from Wes, says, behind the rant, David the producer, this is a creepy doll left in Chernobyl exclusion zone.
Oh, okay. That's from last week when we were talking about, what did you do?
I just clicked on the wrong thing. There you go.
When we were talking about things that are creepy. And I still don't find that creepy. It's just a dead baby doll.
Really? You don't find that doll creepy?
No, it's kind of cool.
Cool as in creepy.
So let's see. Not a Great Gamer has asked Juliette, do you know that kid? Do you keep in touch? Do you get paid every time the ad is shown on TV? Several of those questions I'm actually not allowed to answer.
Sure you can. Now you can.
Well, I can't answer the questions about getting paid.
Really?
Union rules.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Can't answer those.
That's a thing?
That's a total thing. At least for the confidentiality agreement that I signed.
Oh, okay.
But that commercial still airs, believe it or not, on like channel 9,989.
At 3 a.m.
At 3 a.m, but it still does air. And I did not keep in touch with the child because the child was a little dickhead. Nancy Jones has joined us. She says, I wish I could join in on the fun. Can't say I'm a mean girl for sure. She wishes us well. Well, cheers to you, Nancy. Thanks for stopping by and saying hello.
Give me floor, give me death.
Give me floor, give me death.
Nice one, Brad.
And Bob's Adventure says, I heard David fantasizes about Debbie the dental commercial lady. Oh, yeah. Sometimes we role play that out.
That's
it's
right.
It's really hot.
Who's got your insurance card? Who's got your insurance card?
I don't want to have to pay over time.
You'll pay over time.
Help me. Help me.
That's so creepy.
It's just disgusting.
Oh, and Guardian of Chaos that shared on Twitter. That is awesome. Thank you for doing so.
Well, I love that. Thank you, Guardian of Chaos. And I need to put some more bourbon in my glass because now it's tasting too much like water. And it's making me sad.
Refresh.
I think these cubes might be a bad idea because they encourage me to add more bourbon to my glass.
What a problem you have.
I know, right? It's just hard doing the show, y'all. And speaking of, we're talking about mean girls tonight. The girls we all know and the ones we kind of love to hate. So, what do you think, David, the producer? How do you feel about Mean Girls?
I have a love-hate relationship with them because some mean girls that I've known through my life were actually extremely amazing in bed.
Yeah, they usually are, or
Yeah.
they can be.
Well, I'm not saying in general terms because I really didn't date many mean girls. I should say I only dated 2. And I didn't know they were mean girls at the time, but found out over time they were mean girls. And it was a 50-50. One of them was like super hot in bed. And the other one was just an asshole.
How did you find out that they were mean girls? I mean, a mean girl's pretty upfront about it.
Well, she did not go to my high school.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't know that she was a mean girl in what she was doing in her day-to-day.
Got
right?
it.
So
Okay.
it was something that I found out over time, like, you're dating that broad?
Well, I think the best way to start this show off is to talk a little bit about our favorite Mean Girl movies and Mean Girl characters in movies and books and all that. That way we'll get kind of an idea of what a Mean Girl is, and then we can go into a little bit more of our personal experiences with them, because I'll tell you, I got a bunch. Now, obviously, the movie Mean Girls is the quintessential angry girl movie. It's got everything. It's got the clique. It's got the bullying, a little bit of a comeuppance in the end. It's just perfectly done on every level. And Regina George, just perfect villain. Perfect.
Now, my favorite mean girl, actually, you have to go back a couple of years in movies, but I think Rizzo from Grease makes the perfect mean girl.
I don't know what this will reveal about my character, but she is one of my favorite characters in any movie. I've always loved Rizzo because she comes off as the mean girl, but she's actually, a little bit of a softie at heart. She might be a slut, but don't judge her for it. There are worse things she could do than go with a boy or two.
And Swami nailed it. Did you see his? Heathers is the only Mean Girls movie worth a damn.
Fuck me gently with a chainsaw. Absolutely. Heathers is such a great movie because it's almost the anti-Mean Girl movie. You get this troop of girls, and then the fourth one who's tagged on the end, who is a mean girl. She really is, but she doesn't want to be. And she gets to kind of murder them all one by one. And it's so satisfying to watch.
Oh, and Whiskey Crusaders just popped in.
Oh, well, hello, Risky Crusaders. Great to see y'all here tonight.
And Rex Gunn says Tina Fey is God. And I got to say, her writing Heathers, did she direct that too?
No, she has nothing to do with Heathers.
Oh, I thought she
You're thinking of Mean Girls.
Oh, shit, that's
Tina
right.
Fey wrote Mean Girls
Who
based
wrote
off
Heathers?
the book Queen Bees and Wannabes.
Oh.
Who wrote Heathers? I have no idea.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around.
Oh, God,
Okay.
no. Heathers is from the 80s.
I'm confused then.
You clearly are. Get it together, producer. Guardian of Chaos podcast has been off the hook. Well, that's awesome of you to say. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Holy shit. A guy that I went to high school with, Larry Graciola.
Oh my God, you dated a Mother Macaulay girl. Mean bitches.
I did.
Holy fuck, those Catholic girls were cruel.
I have an awesome Mother Macaulay story that I'm going to tell in a bit about Mean Girls.
Well, you can't tease us.
Do you want it now?
Oh, break it out.
Okay.
Break it out.
So, Mother Macaulay was a Catholic school. I went to public school. You can tell by my diction. So just start there. Mother Macaulay or at least some of the girls did there, threw some of the best parties in the South Side.
Catholic girls did.
Oh, yeah. They threw some of the best damn parties. And I met what would be my girlfriend there when I got invited to a Mother Macaulay, party.
Sure.
They were always just beer parties, they
It's
get
a typical
cake,
high school party. Yeah.
Parents are out of town for the weekend,
Right.
whatever the hell it was. And they were always around what we called the Greek part of town.
Right.
Because they had a lot of Greek girls who went to Mother Macaulay, even though that's Orthodox, which is weird, I know. But I ended up dating. Okay, relax.
A lot of backstory here. I want to hear about the mean girl.
Okay, so I ended up dating this mean girl, and I didn't know she was a mean girl at the time. Ended up actually sleeping with her. She was the first chick I ever slept with.
She was your first?
Yeah. And she was a whore.
Nice.
She was but I wasn't prepared for it.
Okay, was it her idea to have sex?
Oh, absolutely. Took me up to the room, the whole deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was not prepared for it.
What did she have, like a condom, or did you have one on you?
Nope.
Nothing. You went bareback.
Total bareback. And by the way,
Whoa.
good news. Barely even made it in before I fucking shot it all over the room.
Well, oh my God, that's so risky. I mean, like, this is your first time having sex. You're going in there without a net. That's crazy. So what happened after the sex? Did you guys keep dating or?
For a little bit, but then I found out through people at both the party as well after the fact, and also friends of mine, they're like, that chick is a complete nightmare. She makes people at her school. She's like the meanest person. I go, well, she's really cool to me.
Sure she is.
Totally cool to me.
When she wants to be.
But I heard she was a complete nightmare. Complete nightmare. And by the way, that was from another guy that dated her that told me the stories of why he broke up with her. I'm like,
Did you get off lucky? I mean, after you guys broke up.
Oh, I got off quick, unfortunately.
Okay. Yes, we heard that.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, I mean, after you broke up, did she like wage any war against you? Did she spread rumors like, oh my God, he gave me herpes or something like that?
No. I came out unscathed, but I know a lot of women after the fact, well, girls after the fact that like fell in her wake in a big way.
Yes.
In a big way. Matter of fact, that's the party that I met Jenny McCarthy at.
Well, yeah, she was probably going to that school at the time, wasn't she?
I think she either went to Mother Macaulay or another one of
no,
the
she went
Catholic.
to Mother Macaulay.
Yeah, okay.
She did.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah,
no.
I met her. I mean, and casually. I didn't like
everybody
know
on the
her.
south side of Chicago knew
Yeah.
Jenny McCarthy.
Yeah.
I see that
She was hot back then, I gotta say.
Jenny McCarthy was always hot. I mean, she's
know.
always been loopy, but she's not a bad looking chick. Not a Great Gamer says he bets that you cried before, during, and after sex.
No, I didn't cry before for sure. I didn't cry during, but I was really frightened. And after, I was just fucking mortified.
Well, I think, here's why Mean Girls are such a conflict. You hate them, but you love them because they come off as being so uber confident and so in control. Like they've got it all going on. They know what's happening and they're in on, the best of everything. So the second you find out what they're really like underneath all that, you're like, oh, fuck that whore.
I've only said that once. Sorry, Mom.
I've said, oh,
my
rest her soul.
My mother's dead. I can say those things.
I'm sure she loves hearing them in the afterlife.
She would actually appreciate it. She knows my sense of humor.
Your mother had an amazing sense of humor.
Yes. Hey, Richie Z's here.
I see that. Richie Z, cheers to you. Thanks for joining us tonight. Kurt Robbins has also joined us. Cheers to you. We are talking Mean Girls. So in the chat, y'all, I want to hear your Mean Girl stories. Now, right now, we've kind of strayed off topic a little bit, but we started off talking about some of our favorite Mean Girl movies. And I want to bring one up in particular that resonates with me, and that would be The Craft. These are my kind of Mean Girls. The ones who are a little quirky, a little off, and then use the supernatural to fuck everything up for everybody. I find that just so much fun.
I've only caught bits and pieces of The Craft as you showed it to me because I've always seemed to fall asleep during that movie. I don't know why.
You're not a girl.
No, it's not.
It's a total chick movie. I acknowledge this.
It's a chick movie, and I can't get through it. I tried.
I see that Patrick Fulmer's joined us, and he says, let's not talk about my evil, sadistic ex-wife.
Ooh, talk about Mean Girls.
Talk about Mean Girls right there.
Ex-wives can be the worst.
Oh, my God. Wow. Oh, that's like worthy of at least 2 more episodes.
Come on, Patrick. You got one good ex-wife story in you.
Whiskey Crusaders has called out the movie Carrie, and fuck yeah. Total Mean Girl movie. I mean, what's more sadistic than taking the poor, sad, tragic, girl who's gotten herself all done up and is having such a great time at prom that she becomes prom queen and then dumping pig's blood on her. Stephen King, all hopped up on cocaine when he wrote that, came up with the cruelest possible thing you could do to a single human being, and I find that just so delicious.
Swami says the only mean girls I know is any woman over 35 shopping at Walmart.
And we will get to them. We will.
Oh,
You're going to have to hold on to your cock for a little while until we get there, but it's coming up.
We're going to be talking about the carrots.
Rex Gunn has called out a quote from The Craft, and that is, "We are the weirdos, mister." Which is the best thing. I mean, like, they're all bonded and everything, and it's fascinating the way they all just turn on each other. Girls are disgusting. We really are.
All right. So I have a question for you that I didn't even think to ask her right now, because you're talking about mean girls as if you're the purest woman on the earth. Have you ever been a mean girl to someone else? Another girl?
Oh, yes.
Really?
I haven't. So here's my deal. Yes, I have been a mean girl. I am still a little bit of a mean girl, but I try very hard to not be.
Wait a minute. I totally disagree. I've known you for now 13 going on 14 years. I've never seen you be mean to another woman.
Well, let me be more clear then. I was never a mean girl towards a girl who was less who wasn't on the same page as I was. I was always a mean girl to other mean girls. So it was kind of a response.
But that's comeuppance then.
No, because they'd never actually necessarily done anything to me, but I'd fuck with them knowing that they were mean girls.
Oh, okay. Okay, then you were just as bad then.
And I did it probably to establish dominance because I was bullied as a kid and pretty ruthlessly for quite some time. So as soon as I developed a little bit of confidence, I found ways to use that to my advantage. And it wasn't just girls that I was mean to. I was a monster to guys and men for a very, very long time. I would fuck with guys like the meanest girl on the planet for the sheer pleasure of it.
Really?
I did.
Huh.
Guys that I knew would crumble because I was being so like forward with them, and I did it just to watch it happen. I was a horrible person, and there are several guys out there actually that I probably owe apologies to. So
You have to read Swami's comment.
anytime she sees a woman with facial hair, she becomes evil.
No, on top. One.
Oh, I'm sorry. So
Yeah.
I've heard my wife make comments on hairy women. Anytime she sees a woman with facial hair, she becomes evil. Isn't it fascinating the way we just pick out the little things that bug us? And it's not just, I mean, we're calling them mean girls, but come on, David, the producer. You telling me you have a little bit of a mean girl in you?
I've been in a few mean girls. I think we've established that.
That's not what I'm asking.
Have I ever been mean to another guy? Just look at no
For sport.
No.
Or to make yourself feel better, or just to.
Well, you know me, I'm sarcastic, right?
You do things. You always put things in a humorous perspective.
Right.
Yes. You actually are not a mean person at all.
No. But I will and have. You know, in high school, you used to have cut down fights, but you went in knowing that was the deal.
It was a game. It wasn't,
right.
And it was played deliberately by two people.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. So it wasn't like I just started it and, some kid ran away crying. No. So I have to say, honestly, no, I've never been a mean guy.
You really aren't. No, I have to say, I got lucky with you. You're not a mean guy. I'm an asshole, but like I said, there's something about being mean sometimes that really does feel good. I always root for villains in movies, and I don't know why. I don't know why. It's a deep thing.
Did you see Guardian of Chaos? I licked and boned my way through a few of those mean girls and took my boots with me. And Swami is saying that, he doesn't believe that I'm not a mean guy because it says, David calls me a socialist every live show we've done. LOL, fucking douche.
You should hear what he calls you behind the camera.
I don't really think he's a full socialist.
Okay, you know what? We're striking this conversation right here and now.
I know we don't talk politics on this show.
No, I have a hard line, and that's it.
But I will say nothing makes me happier than to see the look on his face when I call him a socialist. That's all.
Are you through now?
I'm done.
Okay. Bob's Adventure says, all of the kids in Breakfast Club were mean girls. I don't think they were. I don't think any of them were mean girls. I think Breakfast Club is just a group of kids who were having dialogues with each other because they wanted to understand each other.
I think some are meaner than others.
Like,
that's not necessarily the truth. When I look at it, it was really social status more than it was mean girl kind of activity. But Molly Ringwald would treat, what's the other girl's name?
Ally
Sheedy.
Yes.
Right. Her character. I don't know the characters' names. But she would treat her lesser than because of her social status, which is a mean girl trait.
Well, okay. So earlier I admitted that I was a mean girl, and I never cut another girl down. I didn't do the whole, spread rumors thing. I didn't, in my days, we made prank phone calls. So, you'd call up somebody's home and say something, horrible about the person to their parents or whoever answered. Here's what I did do, though. There was a girl who was a vicious bully in our general area. She was actually a groupie at a club that I used to go to. And she said some terrible, terrible things about me in a way. Oh, David, the producer, needs bourbon. In a way that was actually very detrimental to my budding journalism career. So I decided to teach her a lesson. We had 2 scorpions in the house. Their names were Bill and Ted, and one of them died. So I, with my mother's help, by the way, pulled it out of the tank, put it in a little jewelry box, and wrapped it up and mailed it to the girl along with a spell saying that I had cursed her for her entire life. But I never said it was me. I just said that she'd been cursed and that she would, I don't know what I said. She was either going to go to hell or die or combust if, she didn't cut the shit. And word got out that this girl who was a hardcore, religious person was so terrified by receiving a dead scorpion in the mail that she couldn't sleep, and apparently it ruined her life. Oops.
So Bob's Adventure says in the beginning, and this is Breakfast Club, of course, they all started talking about each other, and that's where he's considering them that they were all kind of mean people. And that's true. They all started off not liking each other because of class or what they perceived as what those people were like.
Right.
I totally get that. And let's see. Guardian of Chaos says, Juliette and David, question. Where did you go to college?
I'm deliberately vague about things like that.
Yep, me too.
I will tell you that I went to a private liberal arts college.
I will tell you that I went to a technical college in Chicago. Yeah, I have what they call a technical degree.
Rex Gunn says, I hated the goth girl makeover at the end of Breakfast Club. So awful. Awful and unnecessary, I think. I don't feel like they needed to make her over into something pretty. She was doing just fine the way she was. Guardian of Can says, any mean girl stories from your co-ed days?
Yeah, in college, did you?
Yeah. Well, I
Mean
was
Girls?
No. So my freshman year of college, like I said, I was terrorizing guys, and I wanted to date a football player for homecoming. Like I had this fantasy in my mind that I needed to be like the it college girl. So I went out of my way to destroy this guy's relationship just so I could have a date to freshman year homecoming.
Did you really do that?
I did do this. Yeah. And it was vicious. So to him, I was all, look, if things don't work out with her, we'll just be friends. We're friends. It's all cool. Don't worry about it. But then I made sure that, things fell apart and I was there to help him through it. So little did I know that.
What a shitbag move.
Oh my God, I was such a horrible person. I was horrible. And I acknowledge this because I just wanted something that I thought would be right for me. And I was completely wrong. But here's how I got my comeuppance. So this girl was in a sorority. And she was like a sophomore or a junior or something. And when all of her little sorority sisters found out that I had, completely just ended her relationship for her on homecoming day, one, they made sure that the guy heard about what I'd done and he broke up with me. So I go to the football game alone. And our school had this tradition where all of the upperclassmen had squirt guns and they would squirt the underclassmen. It was like a little bit of a hazing thing that they did, and it was all kind of playful and fun. But the sorority girls got it out to all the other sororities that I was going to be the target. And by the end of that football game, I was sitting by myself and I was drenched, and not in a like good, cute, wet t-shirt kind of way, but in a like sewer rat sort of way. And I had to walk out of there soaked to the bone with everybody pointing at me. And I earned that. I really did.
Well, you earned it.
I earned that.
No
I
doubt.
fucked up hardcore. And I think that was pretty much, after that, I was still kind of an asshole to guys, but that was the last time I ever deliberately destroyed somebody's relationship for my own purposes, because that was just horrible of me.
You have to read Kurtz.
I used to think that my ex-wife was a
Pseudo
bitch. You guys have convinced me that she was an angel.
Possibly.
Everybody, I think, has a little bit of both in them. It's just the way you handle circumstances that brings it out. And we all have the potential to not be assholes, So when I feel that bubbling up in me, I deal with it in a better way now.
But you know what? A lot of that's that when we think about mean girls, we think about people that are either in high school or college, when they're younger people.
Absolutely.
You don't think of mean girls like in the workplace today or anything like that. We'll get to what we call them now. But back then, just mean girls I always looked at them as girls that had insecurities.
Yeah, and I've read a lot of essays and articles written by former mean girls who are talking about where they were at the time that they were being a mean girl. And I get it. You're in this position where you're trying really hard to maintain something, a status or friendships or whatever it is. And inside, you're just a, scared little wreck. So you overcompensate.
Right. Speaking of little wrecks, everyone like, subscribe, and share the channel.
To this little wreck, this little wreck of a YouTube show.
That's right.
Also, I wanted to acknowledge that Patrick Fulmer says Juliette, 1975 called They Want Their Socks Back.
Yeah.
What's wrong with my socks?
You have been doing a 70s kick literally for the past 3-4 weeks.
Oh my God, I'm so in love with the 70s right now. There's just something about it that's just vibing with me.
You put a pair of sunglasses today. I'm like, hey, Sharon Tate, put them back. They're too expensive.
God, I just love that vibe, that feel. It's cool. I don't know. It's just working for me. What can I say? Maybe next week I'll be sliding across the hood of a Ferrari.
Yeah. Oh, and Guardian of the Cat says, mean girls were always the most promiscuous. The ones that I ran into, I got to say, you're right. You're spot on.
Or they were wannabe promiscuous, but too scared to do it. So the girl who was promiscuous became their target.
Well, I never experienced that because all the ones that I was with were complete whores.
Well, you're a dude. With guys, it's different. Guys are cool with each other getting laid when we're kids, or whatever kids were at the time.
Rex Gunn says, nothing wrong at all with knee-high gym socks and tiny shorts. Nothing.
Thank you.
Yes.
Exactly. My point.
Yep. Nothing wrong with that.
But, we were talking about the age of mean girls and how it seems like, high school is their heyday, but it really isn't, because it continues lifelong. And I'll tell you, my mother is a little bit of a mean girl herself.
She's petty.
My mother's incredibly petty, but
But in the funniest of all ways.
I know. Here's what she did for me. I was laid off from a job with a company that my family is affiliated with. And in a very big way, we're talking board of director kind of way. And I was laid off from it. So my mother decided to pull her own little mean girl routine on my boss, a woman who had me laid off. And she put a Lithuanian curse on her. It's the curse of Rupasha. And essentially Rupasha it's like a plague of frogs or something stupid like that.
It's Lithuania, right?
It's a Lithuanian curse.
Right.
So every time they went to a fundraiser or some like charity event or corporate event with these people, my mother would look at her and go, Rupasha. And the woman was just starting to get really weirded out by this. She's like, what is that? And my mother's like, I curse you. I curse you. And she terrorized this woman at public functions for a good 6 months after I was laid off, until the woman had a mental breakdown and my dad had to be called in by the board of directors. And they're like, sir, we understand your wife has been terrorizing somebody with a Lithuanian curse.
I know. Your mother told that story to me, and I thought she was full of shit till your dad pulled me aside and said, no, that's
Rupasha is a thing.
Yeah, no, he said that really happened, and there was a lot of trouble that you got into because of it. So,
oh yeah,
I think that's hysterical.
Isn't that? But you know what? That's being a mean girl for good, not evil.
Well, she protected her daughter. I get that
She was
part.
just having my back, you know. And like I said, you know, like me mailing a dead scorpion to a girl, that was revenge as well. So there's a difference between, I think, being a mean girl and getting revenge on a mean girl.
So Guardian of Chaos says David is dead. Football, baseball, it's on. I don't know what that means. I'm confused.
Why?
I'm confused. I don't know. David is dead. I mean, that statement alone, it pretty much sums it up. And Not a Great Gamer says those socks are exceptionally nautical. I don't know.
I'm not wearing these on a boat.
They do look like flags.
They don't look like flags. They're
Nautical
tube socks.
flags.
Suck at all of you. So let me ask you this. Have you guys ever experienced a mean girl in the office or at work somehow?
Don't call them mean girls when they're in there. Once you get over 20, you can't be called a mean girl
Then
anymore.
do you just
That's
officially become a Karen?
Yes, you do.
All right, y'all. It's time to talk about Karens. First, let's define what a Karen is. What do you think, David, the producer?
It's someone, well, you know, I think there is a distinction between a mean girl and a Karen, because Karens think that they're just right, that they're the women that want to see the manager, right?
Feeling right. It's getting vindication for being right and going out of their way to dismantle someone whom they feel is wrong. Right. That is what a Karen does.
Isn't the Karen the new mean girl?
The Karen is the new mean girl. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
That's the woman who wants to take down the person who goes against whatever it is that she's for. And I'm in society today, they are incredibly prevalent.
Oh my God. And I know there's a lot of memes, a lot of jokes about Karens, and it's, you know, but I've run into, and not personally myself where I was the victim of it at all, but I've seen them in retail shops. I've seen them on the street. I've seen them just work their magic at a, even a school board meeting. One time I saw a Karen. Holy mother of God.
Well, what happened there?
Oh, she didn't think that, well, first of all, the whole reason for the school board meeting, I mean, they have several different topics, but the big one for that specific meeting was that they were going to cancel homecoming. And it was because a very good reason. I mean, homecoming had to be canceled at my kid's school, which, by the way, was high school.
So we're talking a couple of years ago here.
Oh, quite a few years ago.
More than 10 years ago.
Yeah. Karen wasn't an actual word.
Okay, so this was a woman who she was a pre-Karen.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they had to cancel the homecoming because half of the well, maybe not half, maybe it was a third or a little bit more of that of the football team got really, really sick. They got food poisoning from a previous trip. They just got back from a trip from another. It was like a AAA.
Were they talking
thing.
canceling or postponing?
No, they were actually going to cancel homecoming.
Oh wow, that's
because
a
of
huge
it.
deal. Okay,
Yeah.
so what was?
No, and let me be clear. It wasn't homecoming the dance. It was the homecoming. You know, like the
football
prep.
game.
Yeah, no, you know how they have the prep thing for the football?
Wait, okay, so I'm confused. They were just trying to cancel a pep rally?
A prep rally, yeah.
A pep rally.
But it was the homecoming prep rally that they were going to cancel because the football team couldn't fucking be there.
Just a rally.
Yeah.
Not the dance, not the game.
Well, the game, I don't know if they ultimately ended that, but the prep rally was first. And that was the first thing that came up in the meeting.
Okay.
So I don't even remember what they did with the actual game because I don't give a shit.
So
about
what
sports.
happened with the Karen?
The Karen got up in front. I spent all this time with my friends doing floats. Oh, it was.
So they were going to cancel the parade.
It was a parade that led up to the prep rally.
Okay.
Same
so
fucking
she
deal.
had an investment in this thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was no big fucking deal. Who the fuck cares? No one cared.
People care.
No one cared.
People care about homecoming.
Well, homecoming, the dance, the kids care
No,
about.
they care about everything. And especially in communities like the one I know you were in.
Yeah.
That's a big fucking deal.
She can go fuck herself.
I you know what? I'm siding. Now, I don't know what happened with the Karen or what her argument was, but I'm kind of on her side right now.
Oh my God, no, because she took it to whole nother levels.
Okay.
Because she brought up two of her friends.
Did they have any logical argument? Like, you know.
No, it was all emotional.
Okay.
All emotional.
That's the thing that drives me nuts is when it's all driven on emotion. You know, give me a fact.
No, it wasn't like,
give me
stats. I spent $100 out of my pocket or that, well, go ahead.
Not a Great Gamer wants to know, was that a Paul Stanley with asthma impression?
Yes, it was. How you doing, ladies and gentlemen?
So Guardian of Chaos says a Karen by today's standards is not happy within themselves and perhaps not getting any cock. Just his opinion. An interesting point. What makes a Karen who she is? Why does she feel she's got to take down everybody around her? So I'm going to bring up something, and I've talked about this before on this show, but it was something that happened with a podcast called Who Are These Podcasts?
Yeah.
They are a podcast to build their entire podcast library on taking down other podcasts. And they're really mean about it. They're seriously shitty about it. And full disclosure, they took my podcast down and they were seriously shitty about it. I let it go.
But, let's start here.
Okay. So go ahead. It's not a roast. It's a full on. This fucking
it's an
sucks.
Assault.
It's an assault.
It's an assault.
Yeah. Okay. Go on.
So let's start out by saying that they only review podcasts except for two that I know of, and they have like 200 or some odd episodes.
They have a huge archive.
Yes. So they have a huge archive. They will only review podcasts that ask to be reviewed.
That's not true anymore, though.
But there's only two that have it, and that's Opie Podcast
and Stuttering John.
Stuttering John.
Okay.
Yes.
So one of us, not me.
That was me.
Submitted the show.
I thought it would be a fun roast.
I will tell you this much. It sucked. It really did. For me personally, it fucking sucked. Not because of what they were saying, but because it wasn't funny. Like there was one genuine funny moment on it, and I will tell you exactly what it was.
You got mean girled by them.
I got mean girled by them, but the funny moment was when Carl called me out for being a wannabe stand-up comedian. And then he inserted a laugh track under a couple of my lines. And I'm like, okay, that's fucking funny. I do that. You're right.
Yeah.
The rest of it was commentary on how I look.
Right. He did it on your looks.
So never mind all that. There was another podcast that they did. and they tore them down. And this podcast took it to a whole new level. They assembled an army to have Carl fired from his job.
From his real job.
From his real everyday, where he gets his living job.
Right. Now, you talk about your modern day Karens. I think you got it right there.
That's exactly what a modern day Karen does. She will take somebody out at any cost. And that is what I find truly reprehensible.
All right. I want to know other people's definition of a Karen, because I think we all look at Karens as a different kind of thing.
Before we do that, I want to answer Richie Z. He's asking, how is the finish on the Makers? So I'm drinking the Makers 101. And now that I have it in a glass that hasn't been watered down by ice, it has a very dry finish, and it's a little bit more oaky than the original Makers, the 90 proof Makers. And personally speaking, I really enjoy it because it doesn't taste like everyday Makers. It just tastes a little bit amped up. You get more of those bourbon flavors. You get, the vanilla, you get the oak with a little bit more potency. It's good stuff. Love it.
And Malted or Montreal says, oh, wait, I got to start with Guardian of Chaos, who says, your podcast is an excellent listen, Juliette. So there's stroke your ego. Okay.
I suck, or sometimes I'm awesome. We all do.
But
we all suck and are awesome.
Swami says, Juliette has thin skin. LOL.
Don't we
Who
all
doesn't?
know?
Who doesn't? That's
Here's
a creator.
the thing, though. Here's the thing. Like, you put something out there in the world, and you immediately have to assume people will have opinions about it. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're awful. Sometimes they hurt. It's how you respond to it that makes the difference. Now, when Who Are These Podcasts took my show down, I didn't say a goddamn thing.
No, you know what? We just stayed really quiet.
I said nothing.
And you know what? The reality is, over time, I've still been in contact with them.
I will defend Carl's right to do that show till the day that I die, because that's his show. You can't make laws against somebody being an asshole.
Right.
You are allowed to do whatever the fuck it is that you want.
Yeah.
Say it. I don't care. Take down a podcast. Sometimes he's hysterically funny, It's okay. It's all good.
Exactly.
So there.
Bob's Adventures. Did you see what he just said?
If I was a whiskey company, I would print JM reviews on the box. I don't really give good bourbon reviews. I don't. I listen to some very good people who know their fucking whiskeys and bourbons. Particularly, I will say Mash and Drum.
Yep.
He's amazing. He's fucking good at what he does.
Whiskey Crusaders.
Whiskey Crusaders. You guys, you know your shit. I don't know anything. I just know what I drink, and I like it, so I talk about it.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, you don't. Well, at least I hope people don't think that you come off as like a whiskey or bourbon pro, because you're not.
No, I'm not. I'm not at all. I mean, I'm a writer, so I know how to research shit, but I don't have the palate,
Right. And by the way, before Swami.
In Montreal.
I'm not going to say malted in Montreal anymore. I hate that's his channel, but Swami, before he had to stop drinking bourbon, I found his stuff entertaining.
Why does a person have to stop drinking bourbon?
Oh, he has medical stuff.
But he still drinks whiskey, yes?
No.
Oh,
No, it's not a distinction between bourbon and whiskey.
Wait, you're saying I get the sniffles from a glass of bourbon? Go fuck yourself.
No. He has to stop. So he's just drinking a little, beer every now and again. But he stopped doing bourbon reviews.
Okay.
Altogether.
Whiskey reviews in particular, because he has
he does
a bone to pick with the bourbon.
Yeah, well, he does a lot of the Canadian whiskeys, and he does a lot of the Irish whiskeys. Got Scotch.
it.
Okay. He does a lot of that stuff.
Well, so we've completely veered off topic.
Totally off
like
topic.
You wouldn't believe. Although, I don't know, in a weird sort of way, we've come back to where we started. It's all about, just don't be a dick. Right?
Well, the anti-Karen. Well, not anti-Karen. I'm sorry.
No.
The equivalent.
Yes,
Karen.
I wanted to ask that. Is there a male equivalent of a Karen?
Yes. If you look at the memes on the internet, they call them Kens.
Kens. And to be, fair, we've just been talking about mean girls, but there are plenty of mean guys out there too. So apparently we're calling them Kens now. Is that the deal?
Well, you know, for women that can take a punch.
You took that line from me.
I did.
You totally stole that line from me.
Were you-
And that was a
were you
private
gonna say
moment
that?
line.
Were you going to say
I was
that?
totally going to say that.
Oh my God. All right.
Wow. Okay.
There you go.
So back on the subject of guys being dicks.
You've never been punched, have you?
Me?
Yeah.
Not by a guy.
Oh, okay. All right.
No.
Because you would have
But
told me that
I have
story.
been punched by a chick.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've been punched by a chick too, and I've been punched by a guy. What's that say about me?
I don't know. What does it say about me that another woman hated me so much she punched me in the face?
Swami says I call them Davids. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, seriously. David's the nicest guy. David is so much nicer than I am. Like,
That's actually funny. I
people
think that's
will
hysterical.
reach out to you and you will give them every single help and advice on the planet. And I'm in the background going, what the fuck are you doing?
Yes, but as you're saying that right now,
Yeah.
I'm blocking Swami's phone number. So hold on.
Could
While I
you
do that.
show the Rex Gunn reply?
I will.
He says, my parents
Yes.
are Karen and Ken.
Oh,
well,
boy.
Karen's dead, but she would find this all hilarious. My dad's so not so much, but he's old enough to not give a shit. Aren't all of our parents kind of in that category already? I mean, you know, looking at me and David, the producer, we're, you know, over 40. So our parents are from that generation where
Speak for yourself.
I'm sorry, you under 40?
I'm right around there.
Really?
Shushy you.
I believe that generation was brought up with an entire different sensibility. And the older you get, the angrier you get, the more annoyed you get about kids on your lawn, so to speak. They've earned it.
Yeah. You know, I can't give, you know, the generation before us a big slap in the face because we can't judge them the way that people are today. You just can't.
You can't. And I will say this till the day that I die. We're all assholes. We really are. It's how you fucking deal with things. And I see that Rex Gunn just said,
They're not
the
the
type.
type.
Those
That's
are their
their real
names.
names.
Well played. Well
Very nice.
played. Craft Beer Pours has joined us in the chat. Cheers to you. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Cheers, cheers.
Our conversation has kind of derailed a little bit, but we started
Little bit,
off this show
little bit.
talking about Mean Girls.
You know what? I think that with all the meanness and everything else, do you want to talk about the last podcast you did prior?
Okay, so what's kind of inspired all of this conversation in my mind, and I will say this, it's something that I'm constantly working on, something that I want to help people with or kids with, and that's bullying. And I was bullied as a kid ruthlessly. And something that I support is an organization called Stomp Out Bullying. I like them because they give kids tools to deal with bullying. It's not just let's all hold hands and sing Kumbaya. It's more practical than that, and that's why I like them. So check out stompoutbullying.org. October is Bullying Prevention Awareness Month. So if there's a little thing that you can do, you know, to help, and I'm focusing specifically on preteens and teens, if there's a little thing you can do to help them maybe figure out how to handle things or to not be an asshole, this is a great way to start.
You know what? And, you know, the whole theme of the show was, of course, Mean Girls. So, you know, hey, people, just stop fucking with people.
You know, and before we wrap everything up, I do want to tell a quick story about something that I did when I was in the whole mindset of let's try to help young girls. I actually volunteered. I volunteered to mentor 7th grade girls. And I know a lot of your heads are exploding, but here's what happened. So the moms who ran this organization were total mean girls. And for whatever reason, they singled me out as being kind of like the outsider because I wasn't the one donating thousands of dollars to their cause. So they gave me the other outsider girls to mentor. And at the very end of all of this, like my girls were constantly like, you know, shunned from the other group activities. Nobody was including them. I decided we were going to kind of have our final moment. So our big event at the end of the whole year of mentoring these girls was a tea. It was a tea party. And I signed my girls up to make fortune cookies. And inside the fortune cookies, we put very special affirmations. And the whole thing was to have everybody crack their fortune cookie open, stand up, and read what it said inside. And they were all very positive. Things like, I'm beautiful on the inside. People are good and nice. But for the 5 moms who were leading this group, we gave them very special fortunes. And none of those moms would read their fortunes aloud. And it was so beautiful. Their fortunes were things like, I promise to be good to everybody who is good to me. Very, very, positive things, but that struck that chord inside them where they knew that they'd kind of been an asshole. It was a brilliant moment. I was so proud of myself.
That makes you a mean girl in a different way.
I'm the crime-fighting mean girl.
There you go.
Or I'm just an asshole in disguise. I don't know. Anyway, y'all, I really appreciate y'all having watched this show. I think next week we're going to be focusing on the 70s.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you've been in that vibe for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah. So come prepared next Monday night at 7 p.m. to talk about all your favorite 70s swag, movies, stuff, all of it. In the meantime, let me thank some of the people who've been hanging out in the chat with us. Richie Z, Patrick Fulmer, Not a Great Gamer, Bob's Adventures, Rex Gunn, Malta de Montreal, Mr. Swami, cheers to you. And if, Whiskey Crusaders.
Yep.
Your friend Larry.
Larry Caracciolo.
And if I'm missing anyone, I apologize.
Did you get Richie Z?
Richie Z?
Yep.
And Guardians of Chaos also. And Kurt Robbins. Cheers, y'all. I really appreciate you watching. I'll be back next Monday night, 7 p.m. Central, with more of this crazy Bourbon Soak Live nonsense. Until then, cheers. You're still here? It's over. Go home.